waves are beautiful. I don't know. It's nature at its best.
But once again, a filthy place, though. Water is dirty.
I still have these dreams about Lake Erie having 6-foot peeling ocean-type quality waves.
I can understand why people move to other places, but I think if you ever surfed on the lake, that's gonna stay with you forever.
I called all my friends. I'm like, you're not gonna believe it.
I don't know, when you get out in the water, it's just, you gotta totally forget about everything.
Check out, the horizon and look at the sky. Feel, be in the water, feel everything, enjoy every moment.
I think that's what it is. It's just the fact that it almost doesn't make sense.
Hey, I'm guessing the flat spell is over. Today we're supposed to have northeast winds forecasted with waves with 3 to 5 feet. It's not going to be great, but, whatever. Let's get it. Low pressure should last until about Monday, but I'd get out early. It's supposed to shift to northwest, and that's going to ruin everything. So, hope to see you guys out there.
Once I get here and see the curve of the earth on the horizon and the water, where the water touches the sky and everything, that is a good feeling. But then you notice that there's no waves. To sum it up in one word, I don't think I can even do it, but my vocabulary is not that extensive. It's just demoralizing. Sometimes I'll just get really pissed off and drive home. And usually what I'll do is I'll try and get a hold of some people and, see if anybody wants to hang out. A lot of times I'll go through the whole, oh my gosh, what am I even doing here in Ohio kind of thing. It's definitely something that pops into my head almost every day. I don't know, for some reason I haven't left for good yet.
I got a glare coming from this corner of my eye, and a glare coming from the sun off of this corner of my eye.
And you haven't had any sleep.
And I haven't had any sleep. It takes me an hour to get here, and the forecast will say, waves 5 to 7 feet, and we'll get up here, and it'll look like that, So, I didn't know if you guys wanted to get a shot of that. But you just get up here and it'll be flat, and then drive back home. And I work third shift, so there's a lot of times when I'll go 2 days, 3 days without sleep just so I can get up here and surf. It's kind of tough to stay positive in Ohio because, you can't just go to the beach every day and look for low tide and, at least have something for your longboard. I mean, there's a lot of times it's just a lake.
In a certain way, that adds to the enjoyment of it. When you catch it on a great day, you get to appreciate it more. If it were killer every day, it wouldn't be such a big deal, you know?
This is definitely not a typical November. Usually by now we'd have snow, we'd have, sleet, rain. It's just cold, dreary. A lot of times the only thing that you really look forward to is a cold day at the beach. It's kind of weird to say, but
Everything looks like a black and white movie. It's snowy, cold, rainy, windy, cloudy.
Like, say it's one of those really marginal days where it's starting to get doggone cold, man. I mean, it's starting to be like, wow, this is rough. The wind's stinging your face, and the snow's not sticking to the water. It's actually like skimming across the water like it's hard concrete. You never say, what am I doing out here? You're like, wow, this is incredible. This is raw nature. This is total beauty. And here comes the set, and I'm gonna surf it.
people show up and you're actually happy to see somebody to share some waves with them, because you just get so used to paddling out in the wintertime by yourself, and it just kind of sucks. It's just nice to have somebody else there to talk to and, you know, just to rap with.
I guess the general attitude is people are just happy to see someone and have someone to surf with. Someone to say, hey, did you see my wave? You know, that was awesome.
I think you get an appreciation for each other when you're out there braving 35-knot winds and ice is freezing on your face. I mean, you look at the guy across from me and say, that guy's got a big pair of balls. And so does the guy to my right. And you don't say that about the average person walking down the street. So there's certainly a brotherhood that comes from that.
Because we're kind of out of place, I'm guessing that we're a little different, but once you put us into the same crowd as anywhere else, it'd probably be all the same.
You think about Florida or the coasts, you know, and coming here, I think it's kind of ridiculous, you know. They must think, oh my God, man, Cleveland, what?
They're all bumming because they just left California or Hawaii or Florida or whatever. They're driving to work one day, and then they catch a glimpse of us out there surfing, and they're just stoked. You know, they stop in and they're waving their arms, hey, come in, and, you know, what's going on here?
On a really windy day, I just happened to be driving by Edgewater and saw a couple knuckleheads down there, and they were actually catching waves. So I grabbed the board and met up with them, and that's when I started meeting guys like Vince and Scott and Todd, and, you know, and they clued me into when's the best time to surf.
I really look up to two guys mostly. It would be Rich Stack, because he's just so full of stoke. He's just like, you find him at a beach and he's just walking up to you, just pulling stoke out of his pockets, handing it out. He's a good dude. He's a great guy. And I would have to say Todd Williams, and he just seems to attack life. And I really look up to him for that. He doesn't hold back on what he's got to say. You know, if he's got something to say, you're gonna hear him. I really admire that.
First time I heard about surfing, I saw Endless Summer. And I thought, boy, what a great thing to do. These guys are having a good time. So I started doing it, you know. The Great Lakes can get good. You know that, man. You get some big waves.
I grew up basically about a quarter mile from the lake. We'd go down to watch the big storms. Never once thought about surfing. There's no waves here 75% of the year. There's no waves. Maybe, no, it's more than that, you know. There's no waves here 95% of the time.
What I do now is travel, and that's my big kick is traveling, you know.
Truthfully, you know, in a perfect world, I'd love to move. I don't know if we can. We would if we could. Right now, we can't.
To me, the Great Lakes are just a place to stay in tune for when I go to the ocean. You know, when I can really surf and good surf.
So yeah, I'd love to move. If it could be simpler, I know it would enrich our lives.
I usually don't tell them that. I tell them I'm from Jersey or something, and they believe me. I don't want to admit I'm from Ohio, for Christ's sake, and surf, you know, but actually surfing the lakes is kind of silly when you really get down to it. It's really a stupid thing to do, but yeah, you know, hey, it's something to do. It's better than hanging out watching TV, you know.
I do think people should think a little more positively about where they are, about where they're from, about what's going on around them, because they want it to be better. No matter how good it is, everybody always wants it to be better. And if they just looked around them and found the good things that are already there, they'd be plenty happy. But you just have to be able to notice that stuff first. And that's the tough part. You need people in society that are willing to push the limits, that are willing to step out of the circle, step out of the box, and just cast themselves into an odd or a different experience. You got to have people that are willing to go out and search for new and different things to bring to the table. And a lot of times that's what inspires the next generation to go out and do it.
My campground was filled with people coming from Youngstown and Pittsburgh and all places in between. Amazingly, quite a few of those people, their children, took up surfing. We were on the water, and that's why everybody comes to the campgrounds. We really didn't have anything else to give the people. No big playground for the kids and swimming pools or stuff like that. We had Lake Erie, and we went with what Lake Erie had to offer. And that was flat water for skiing and waves for surfing, so it all worked out. My parents took me to Florida every year since 1950, and there would be a few surfers, and there wasn't many down there at that time. It was like few and far between. But as soon as I saw those guys surfing, I had to do that. I wanted to do that. Yeah, I just like being near the water. I can go down there and throw rocks, and I'm happy. We used to have a group of guys, and we'd call everybody. We'd get right on the phone and call everybody that we could to come out with us. To have your buddies there means that you had twice as much fun. For me, it's always been that way. 1969, Frank Harris and I, we actually put an advertisement in our yearbook selling surfboards, Oscar Harris surfboards. We took a Beach Boys music album, and we looked at the cover of it, and it had a board there, and that's what I shaped my board like.
Well, I started surfing when I moved to California, but I've always kind of like thought it'd be pretty cool, you know? Even just like when I was in high school, like, 'cause I grew up in Cleveland, I'd go by Edgewater if it was like a stormy day and just check it out and stuff, and always thought it'd be cool to like do that. And just all those things came together when I was in the Marines. When I moved to San Diego, we all bought some crappy boards and a wetsuit and just taught ourselves pretty much, you know? I mean, I guess I missed a little bit of the consistency, but you learn to adapt, so it's still, when you go out there, it just feels like, it doesn't feel like it was a month ago since you've been out or whatever. I was just really pumped to just go and find new spots, and you might find that perfect place to go and surf at. A lot of times being on the lakes, you're kind of venture off on your own, you know? It's just a different vibe when you go out and surf with Vince. He was always the first one out there, though. Like, he knows all the spots and exactly like where to go, and he's just got a little bit different of an approach. Just a solid dude.
Jack is the raddest dude I know. Jack is so rad. R-A-D. That's rad, spelled J-A-C-K.
You gotta go back to school, man. You know how to spell.
I live at home with Mom and Grandma. I have a rental house, but
hey, Grandma,
I got no reason to live there. So, because, I mean, at home, I get cooking done, as you guys can smell. Cooking is pretty much done every day, and, you know, I get to live with Mom and Grandma. It's cool.
This is Grandma Mary. She keeps me straight. She keeps me in line.
Well, nice meeting you, boys.
Okay, leave her alone. She is 93. 93. And spitting fire. No, she's cool. Totally love her. You know, she'll point the finger at me every time I'm supposed to be doing something else, like, I don't know, whatever, mowing the grass or fixing stuff around the house or cleaning. I'm basically called a bum pretty much every time I come into in the house after surfing. She can always tell when I'm surfing. She can probably smell the lake water on me or something. But
Yeah, I call him a bum every time he comes home.
yep. What would it be like without surfing? Basement wouldn't smell like resin. Grandma wouldn't hassle me so much. Yeah, she would. I lived in Hawaii for about a year. Loved it. It was the best year of my life. It was great. I planned on moving out there, being there forever, starting up a bicycle shop, and just surfing and riding. I admit I didn't catch one wave on the North Shore. It was a humbling experience. I didn't even try to catch a wave there. It was huge. They're moving houses. If you can get out there and just see it up close from the channel, incredible. I get goosebumps right now. I don't know if you can see that. It's crazy. It was nuts. I could have stayed there forever, but my family's here. I mean, I'm not married, but my family is here, so.
We did a surf contest for ESA in December, and that was definitely the coldest day of the year. There was like slush along the shoreline. It was like 2 feet of snow the kids would walk through to go to the beach. I think it was like 15 degrees outside, but I think it was like, with wind chills, like below zero easily. And that was the coldest day of the year too.
Third place. Edmund Seidel.
Come on, Edmund. Hold it up.
That's the battery for it. This is to Neil Loma from the Eastern Surfing Association, Great Lakes District, an appreciation for your enduring stoke and support of competitive surfing.
All right, Neil.
It's got a barometer and a clock and a thermometer on it.
I'm honored.
All right.
All right, Neil.
All right, Neil.
Because I can use this. That's what even makes it cooler.
Yeah. You might want to take bubble wrap.
Yeah. Bubble wrap that one. I'm pretty stoked with this. I guess I'll go.
Certain parts of Cleveland remind me of Hawaii. Certain people remind me of Hawaii. Last night hearing the winds just sounded like the big surf crashing. And it just took me back when I was a kid. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get up 4 o'clock dawn patrol, you know, and go out there and see this mammoth surf at pipes. But then I was living in Shaker Heights. And sometimes I catch myself. Like this morning I got up at 3 because I heard the wind. Just riding a wave, a small wave, a little wave, a big wave, you know, makes you think, yeah, I used to do this when I was a kid. Makes you think of all the people that you interact with in life, you know, taught you how to do things, how to surf. And that's the aspiration I give to my kids when they surf. So whenever they get older and they go surfing, they'll remember those times, yeah, Dad showed me how to do this, you know, or yeah, I remember just being out here with Mother Nature. Teaching somebody else to surf, that's the whole point, you know. It just goes on. Because I remember the first time ever surfing in Cleveland, and the water temperature was like 42 degrees. And Vince is like, man, you're gonna need something bigger than that. I was like, the board? He was like, no, you're turning purple. So he taught me how to surf the lake, you know, as well as Mike Miller, as well as a lot of people. And then in return, I taught a lot of other people how to surf the lake.
Moth and human hand collide, summer backyard genocide, swimming pool, drowning fly, between the blades of grass I lie. So bored in the summer, so bored in the summer.
I made a board for Evie, this girl I surf with. I thought it was really neat. I was making a board for somebody other than myself. She did her own poetry on the bottom, and then I put a gloss coat over it. And it really turned out cool. I enjoyed the fact that I knew who it was going to, and all the little extra things that you can put into it for somebody that you know.
It's when I can't get any waves, and I just keep getting drawn to the same places. Like, you know there's not going to be any surf that day or anything like that. I got to go and look at the beach. I got to check it out. Take the kids down there and the dog and just go mess around on the beach. And that's when I get ideas. Like a day where it's just a really intense sunny day. So you get that light that you don't normally get here in Cleveland. And those are the days I try to capture, but I also try to capture gray ones and just get that power of like a wave of water moving and just places that I'm familiar with too, and get those down on a canvas. My father was an art director, and my mother painted, so I was constantly surrounded by that. And I idolized my father, so I wanted to go and grow up and be like him and become an art director. Did that for about 20 years, and then eventually just got tired of that grind and wanted to do something else. And I got out of that business. All the ad execs and sales people and trying to always come up with a creative idea for somebody else, and that just weighs on you after a while. I know my father said he'd wished he'd broken my fingers when I was younger before I got involved in doing that. Seemed funny at the time. I don't know, for right now my life's in a nice balance. So I've got an outdoor job. I'm not stressed anymore. I'm in good shape because I'm always moving and exercising. Works out pretty good because now I just paint for the fun of it. You just tune out everything out around you, and it's such a freeing experience. After I surf, then all of a sudden I'm calm. I don't need anything. I'm just relaxed. It's like painting. My wife notices immediately once I surf, so she says, anytime I want to go, go.
For the good waves, you have to chase it. It's not going to come to you. You can't just sit at your home beach and expect to get the best waves that are out there that day. You have to do a lot of driving, spend a lot of time in research, and be at the right place at the right time. My whole life is based around when I can surf. Started rearranging my life and going into debt, you know. Yeah, I have nothing. I own nothing except memories of driving around looking for waves. Driving slow in the passing lane, that's my biggest pet peeve, because I have to get places fast, and people just get in my way. I have a lot of driving to do, and it's just annoying. You look at it, it could be the ocean. You know, it's vast. And I just spend hours just driving along it for no reason, just to look at it. You know? I find it extremely enjoyable, even if it doesn't work out, because you get to see places that you normally wouldn't have seen, parts of the lakes that nobody goes to, and it's an adventure.
Mikey with just the crazed eagle eye, man. He sees everything. If something was there to see, Mikey already saw it, you know. And Mikey, did you see that over there? He goes, yeah, I saw it.
More than anything else, I mean, a wave is a wave, you know, whether it's crappy or good, you know, perfect or wind-blown, I mean, it's still riding a wave, so that always brings me back. But having that magical day where all the elements line up just right to get a glassy, clean, big swell is number one in my book. I mean, it's about the waves, you know, everything else is secondary, so when all that stuff comes together and you're at a head-high day and there's an occasional barrel, that's what I live for, and that's my favorite times around here.
Woohoo! Best barrel I've ever gotten on a lake, ever.
Really? Did he get it?
Those things, they're holding up so long that you could see inside of them. They closed out on me, but they stayed open enough to see on the inside.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
I want to be known as the guy who was there every time it broke. That I was on it whenever it was breaking.
There you go. That's Mikey.
Where is he?
That's Mikey. Oh my God. Wow.
And there's some times you paddle into the lake and you cannot believe the stuff you're seeing. You know. But for some reason, I always go back. I can't help myself.
Parma is about 12 miles from Lake Erie as the crow flies, but it might as well be on the other side of the world. Maybe I saw Lake Erie, I don't know, maybe 10 times in my whole life before I was 40. Lake Erie isn't part of people's mental geography. You know, the water really wasn't an important thing for them. People go bowling here. I think it was different probably at the turn of the century. At one time that the beach was the thing. People went there, but I don't know what happened to all that. It's not there now. You see some of the wreckage of it when the water level is low, but somewhere along the line, I guess the beach just became unpopular. The first 5 years, maybe the first 7 years that I was a photojournalist and I was doing, big assignments for wire services and magazines and newspapers, it was really cool to meet David Bowie or cover the Super Bowl or the World Series. And actually over time I got much less interested in famous people. The bigger someone is, and the less real it is. And the fact is, photojournalism is all supposed to be about reality. And the more I started taking pictures of surfing, I found myself being very less interested in photographing other things. What is really special about the surfing scene here is the people and the camaraderie. In a lot of ways, they're misfits, and when they're together, they're not misfits anymore. Maybe just surfing on a lake doesn't attract, quote, normal people. It attracts oddball people, because there's very few normal people doing it. Even if they weren't people who surfed on a lake, they would be interesting, just in their own right. The fact that they don't want to be like other people, they don't even want to be like California surfers. I mean, and I thought that was really kind of cool too. I don't fit in, so, you know, other people that don't feel like they fit in or don't want to fit in, that attracts me. So the people that I started photographing began as just, you know, subjects for something I wanted to do as a photojournalism story, and instead 2 years later they're my best friends, and in that sense that changed my life. I think I was here at a special time, and I'm glad I'm taking pictures of it, because it's not going to be the same surfing scene 5 years from now that it is now.
I just got word from McGill Schaus, and it turns out I'm going to be an alternate for the ESA Nationals in the Outer Banks. It would be really neat to just be from the lakes and actually be a part of something like that. But I don't know if anybody's going to be able to go with me, so I'd be, you know, driving solo, and that's a tough drive by yourself. But I'd really like to be a part of it if I can make it happen.
I'm not really trying to, but I mean, waves and surf is entering my work now, which is really nice. You know, it's nice to have that crossover starting to happen a bit. And I wasn't even thinking about it. I just started drawing waves one day, and it was like, fuck yeah. You know, like, this is right on. This is exactly what I should be doing. I should be drawing this stuff. So I'm putting it in.
This is Hessler Street, Party Central. Go down here. If you check it out, this street, it's made of wood. The name of my surfboard company is Nona Nalu Surfboard Designs. Nona Nalu stands for no. The Na is the chemical symbol for sodium, which is a salt, and Nalu is Hawaiian for wave. And that means no salt waves. Although I do, the boards work in freshwater or in saltwater.
Screen it through and you'll be set.
Nice.
Yeah. Here comes the first shirt of the run. I come across it a couple times just to make sure all the ends are smooth. There.
That is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I really dig it.
I'm stoked. They look really good, even when I'm on dry land.
Yes. We were both late for this meeting, by the way, because we actually had waves and we were surfing the same spot. So it was just like, how about if we're late today?
I'm gonna be late if
Sorry
you're gonna
about
be
that.
late.
Exactly.
Everything stops when the surf is up, you know.
Numb fingers. Oh, come on.
I've been on third shift for about 8 years. I can't say that I ever really got used to it, where some people will say, oh yeah, usually after about a year it's no problem. I'm not digging it, but it does allow me to surf in the daytime, in the morning, while everybody's clocked in when the sun's out. I went to college and I started studying geology, and I got interested in the water cycle, and I just happened to come across the job with the city working at the water plant, and that's just kind of where I ended up. Who'd have thought that I'd be hired to clean water for an entire city? That's just kind of nuts. The longest I've ever stayed up is probably, I'm guessing, like 3 days. After hours of just being up, you start, I don't know, your brain goes off into nowhere. I don't know where that is exactly, but I'm pretty consumed in what I'm doing when I'm shaping, and I really like that because actually sometimes I've had it make me late for work because I didn't even realize what time it was, and I figured, I'll go down and shape for an hour, and it's like 3 or 4 hours later, and I think that's really cool that I have something that I'm able to just really lose myself in. I'm always trying to make something that works. That's the biggest thing, is having it look good and having it work. Well, actually having it work and then have it look good. Because you want them to come back. But you also want to put your twist on it, which gets them to come back to you rather than giving them some generic, board that they can get off of the shelf anywhere.
What do you guys want? Bullshit. You get to work. Salute.
It's a fun little day at the cave at Honolulu Bay. Fun little spot.
In Maui?
Yeah, it's on Maui. Yeah.
You surf that wave that's like quadruple overhead, and you can still surf here and have fun.
Oh man, I grew up in Florida. I grew up on small waves like that. That's what I excel in. That's what I love,
I moved to Cleveland for a family business down in the city, and I don't know, I was kind of reluctant to even come, but it's family business, been in my family for 4 generations ever since my great-grandmother, so it's just one of those Italian things you got to do, and that's it.
I'm gonna take you where the real shit happens.
That's my Uncle Paul right there. The surfer. Chef Ron.
It's been good to me. You know, I have nothing bad to say about Cleveland other than, you know, I just miss the ocean and got to get back to my deal there, you know. So
This is where the sauce really happens, right here.
Business, my family's business. That's what pulled me out here in the first place. My mom had a stroke the day she moved out here from Southern California, and a month after that, my stepdad died of a heart attack. So the business needed some steering and some guidance, and I was there to help. Just adapting to this place out here has been a unique experience on its own. It's a different world, it's a different lifestyle, and everybody out here has just been really accepting and welcoming into the crew. And you don't find that so much in some areas, especially with surfers. You know, they don't necessarily want to welcome and open their little world up to other people. But there's definitely a cool vibe. Yeah, my family's gone ahead and moved to California already. Hopefully we'll be out there together soon.
I grew up in Huntington Beach, California, but my mom moved out here and I kind of was stuck. This is much to it. I just had to keep doing what I was doing.
What is your living situation this week?
Living in my car. I didn't have the gas money to drive down to Akron every time I got done surfing and drive back up here, so I just decided to sleep close to the surf, head out and see what it's like. But so far, not that great. Still worth it though. Yeah, I got $5 from a lady who thought I was homeless. Guess I looked pretty nasty looking, so she gave me $5 and I went to Burger King.
What about Vince and Mike? Do you think either of them are going to leave?
They're the same. They both should leave.
You think Vince will be sticking around, or do you think he's moving?
Vince is he's a lifer.
Yeah, I don't know why he's here. Like, I don't know, certain people that live here, always been here, should move to the West Coast, live out there for a while.
Why would you stay in Ohio? Well, I'm in Ohio because I have to be in Ohio right now, you know?
We've been planning to get out of here the day we got here.
Probably in the future, in a couple of years, once it gets stable and everything, I'll probably move to Cali or Florida.
This summer I'll be moving down to South Carolina. Well, at least for 4 years. I may be back.
Do you blame people for moving away?
I don't. I wish I could talk a lot of the people here into moving away. If you want to move, you want to move. That's what you could do, you know?
My future plans right now is open up a little surf camp down in my hometown, down in Delray Beach, Florida.
I don't know, I'm probably gonna go back really soon. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss no crowds and surfers who aren't pissed at each other, but I don't know if I could deal with the waves out here that much longer.
It's going to be rough. I mean, I thought about, just staying here because all my friends are here. Like, all the people I met. A lot of people had these weird personalities when I got here, but now I'm like one of them. I turned into one of them. Now I don't want to leave.
I think that everybody has that perfect place that they would like to be, whether it's Hawaii or, I don't know, New Guinea. I don't know. But I think everybody has that struggle that keeps them from their perfect place in life. I don't know, in their head, wherever it would be.
This is my hard hat. Stickered up like my car. No, I'm saving up money to buy a house and all that stuff, get married, so I've been kind of working a lot lately and not surfing as much as I'd like. It's a good place. Vince is here, How can I move anywhere else?
Jay Hill is he's a really cool guy. He's inspired me keep going every once in a while too, because I mean he's just putting out boards. He's really doing it. Moved to Carolinas, and he's doing it. He's for real. Is he doing these? Wow. I guess I wish I had more time to devote to shaping and artwork and all the things that go into the surfboard business, and I just haven't done it where he has. So I know I can do it, it's just I haven't.
When it's flat, we skateboard, we travel, road trips. You know, this is like seriously therapeutic for me. If I didn't do this stuff, I'd be a wreck, without a doubt.
Oh, I know. When it's not up, I'm definitely more edgy and I'm kind of irritable. And then once it's up, that first time we're in the water, I'm just grinning and I'm insane about it. That thing looks like a pond for most of the summer, and then when it starts whipping up and you can see the white water out there, I mean, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I just cannot wait. I can't wait. And you could feel it. You can actually feel the wind shifting, and you can watch the lake, and you start to get a little more activity. And, you know, the days are a little bit shorter, and it's coming in. You know it's coming in. And, you know, we're out in 20-degree weather, blowing gale force wind in the water, and just loving it.
That's the best thing about surfing on the lake is going out in deplorable conditions that, I mean, seriously, you don't
awesome.
even know, you know, what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah, you know what I always say? Like, I love every bit of it except putting the wetsuit on and taking it off. January 29th, we surfed. February 1st, it was ice. And that's how quickly it happened, and it was brutal. And I just stood on that ice, and I looked out over it. Dude, it just looked like the Arctic, and I was horrified.
It's tough, you know? It's a party that's gone for a little bit, you know?
This is the wave report for the Cleveland area. The wind is west about 5 miles per hour, with waves flat to double over toe. So, we got nothing. The weekend forecast doesn't look any better. Now would be a good time to take that road trip to the East Coast. Jersey to the Outer Banks looks like it should be in the 2 to 4 foot range. Not sure how clean it's going to be, but good luck, and I hope to see you out there. See ya.
Every time there's a little bit of wind, you know, you go run into the lake to see if there's waves, even though you know there isn't, because you can't stand the idea that there were waves down there and you missed them.
Got too big. We're waiting for a tow in to come. Buddy's getting a ski and a rope. It's just too big. We can't paddle in. Just can't. Just die.
But you can always tell when there's been a long flat spell, because you start having like internet wars.
When you're stuck in gray and gloom for 3.5 months, 4 months, 5 months, and just nothing, I mean, you just start to lose your mind. And, you know, you need somewhere to vent, and that's what people do. They vent online.
You can only look at internet porn for so long.
You know, it's just you rag on each other. There's nothing else to do, and you're just trying to have a good time, and you try to get a rise out of people. That's all you're looking to do.
There's a lot of jokes about some of the people on the lakes as looking like primates or people from who haven't evolved into humans yet. They're just like throwbacks to another time period. Rich Stack's one of them. The other one's Mikey. Mikey we make a lot of fun of. He's actually almost normal looking.
You know you're in if Mongo is, you know, totally made fun of you and blown up one of your pictures or your ass to the size of Milwaukee or...
Here's the first scene in it is his butt is its normal size, and then it starts to grow, and then it balloons out almost like an airbag. There's Luke knocking over the terminal tower.
Then you know, all right, this is good. These are my people. They understand, and you know, there's nothing wrong with it.
sometime in high school, saw the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I was introduced to Jeff Spicoli, of all people. He's a good dude, and everybody likes him. Nobody has anything bad to say about him. You know, I'm sure everybody out there is just saying, "Oh, what a doofus," but it's true. You know, I mean, hold on. Oh. He's living the life. He's doing exactly what he wanted to do, and he answers to nobody. And I thought that was awesome. And everybody's cool with that. So that's my thing.
We could just say that this is untouched. You know, it really hasn't been used too much since it used to be a surfboard shop. And as you can tell, the paint is peeling. Things haven't been disturbed.
Hey, look at that roach, man.
As you can see, the floor is giving away. I got to be very careful here. Now that is a Tom Blake.
That's a Tom Blake.
This was the life-saving board at Walnut Beach back in probably the 1930s and 40s. It got passed to Mr. Flower, and he came by and he says, "Hey, you know, I got this surfboard in my garage. Do you want it? I'll give it to you." Sure, we love it. And here it is. It's a Tom Blake.
And it's about 60 years old then? You
Yeah,
think, or something
yeah,
like
it's
that?
probably from the 30s.
How thick is that monster?
This, I don't know what this is, but
It looks like a spar off a boat or something.
it's like the mast.
Yeah, a mast or
Mast
spar or something.
That doesn't roll on. Okay, yeah.
Hey Neil, what do you keep in here?
That was my, what do you call it? Things have not changed.
These are incense ashes, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, right.
This is, okay. I don't know how many more years the surf shop will stand.
What was that, Neil? 5?
This thing's gonna kill me.
5'8"?
Oh, man.
There. I know you guys want to ride that.
Oh, man.
Isn't that wild?
It's too small for me anymore. Being 52 years old, I'm not gonna ride that too much.
I want to ride that.
But this board, I've had some fun rides on that. I rode it on small 2-foot Lake Erie before when I had, you know, I was in my 20s. This was made probably about 1973 or something like that. But that's a nice little fish.
As your life slowly passes in a cloud of dust and smoke, gone are the long days of laughter. You can see your old self smile. All your life, all you see, all your plans, all your dreams have been recorded.
All those early sessions were memorable to me because there were only a couple people there. You know, Neil and I and Steve DeSeal, a couple other guys maybe. Most of them have gone now, they're somewhere else.
That was the best ride I had all day.
That was a good ride, Neil. It'll take you right to the beach.
Yeah, I went
that was
all
a
the way.
small day too. There.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
I'm not shooting this.
Steady.
This is DeSeal work. There I am again. See me coming right through the middle?
Yeah, drop in on those clouds. You were riding DeSeal's board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't have a wetsuit, and it was cold.
Where's your wetsuit?
I didn't have one.
Yeah, we surfed there.
Okay, is that
At that spot.
That's south of Fuller's, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then Fuller's is coming up.
All your dreams have been
Neil and I have been wax collectors, competitive wax collectors for
We
years.
started doing this back in the early 90s. Did we start?
Late 80s, something like that.
Late 80s.
How did we start collecting these things?
Well, people collect coins.
People just start giving us wax
stamps, and we were, so hardcore surfing.
Who's winning the competition right now?
He's up by one. Not counting the two boobs. He's up by one. I thought I had him, but I traded him today. He got this. I had two of those. What did I get? The kangaroo wax.
I gave him, kangaroo.
That was a good trade.
Seriously, do you know where you're going?
Yeah. Really excited to get out of Ohio for a while, get to the Outer Banks for this contest, and it'll just be a real nice break to get away from Ohio. It's just a much nicer surf environment. It'd be nice to just check out all the spots on the way down.
I believe it is the competition.
So have you made up your mind about what you're going to do tomorrow yet?
I have not decided what I'm going to do yet. I guess I was just going to sleep on it. I guess there's a couple guys that are going to be going out locally here in Menor, and waves are supposed to be probably like waist high. Compared to driving 12 hours by myself down to the Outer Banks to do a contest that I might not actually get into because I'm an alternate. But I'd like to catch some waves with my buddies. I haven't seen a couple of them in a long time, and it'd just be nice to share some waves with my friends instead of driving 12 hours by myself. The kind of waves, the quality of waves isn't so much important. Once you realize if you're not with your friends surfing, then you're alone, and that's gonna suck anywhere. Everything that you're used to, everything that you're brought up with, the values of everybody here are different than in any other place other than the place you call home. So basically this is my home. That's it.
When the sun fell down and fell asleep, drunk from drinking all the splash onto the sky. The stars stayed up till morning. When the sun fell down and fell asleep, drunk from drinking all the heat, made a splash onto the sky. The stars stayed up till morning. I was in a prison with imaginary bars. I was riding shotgun in imaginary cars. One was filled with wind twisting through an iron mouth. One was made of trees with no keys to shimmy out. When the sun fell down and fell asleep, drunk from drinking all the heat, made a splash onto the sky. The stars stayed up till morning. The sun fell down and fell asleep, drunk from drinking all the heat, made a a splash onto the sky. Stars stayed up till morning.
One, two, three, four.
Take my voice from your mind.